Yep. Sensitive to light. Sound. So what they see is not a hound, it's something that they can hallucinate into a hound. Something that looks like a hound. Okay. Now you're just making sure we won't get to see what it is.
It's in here with me.
Where are you?
Get me out, Sherlock. You've got to get me out. The big lamb, the first lamb that we saw. Did you hear that?
Stay calm, stay calm. Can you see it? Can you see it?
No. It's here. It's here.
Are you all right?
John.
Yep.
Jesus Christ, it was the hound. Sherlock, it was here. I swear it's Sherlock. It must.
The coffee is drugged.
Did you see it? You must have.
It's all right. You saw what you expected to see because I told you. You have been drugged. We have all been drugged.
Ah? I love being right. It's a sweet feeling. Now let's just wait. If it's the coffee. How do you proceed now?
The only limits are ethics and the law, and both those things can be very flexible. But not here, not at Baskerville.
Jesus. Nothing there. Doesn't make any sense.
What were you expecting to find?
Drug, of course. It has to be a drug. Hallucinogenic or a deliriant of some kind.
Yes.
There's no trace of anything in the sugar. Sugar, yes, it's a simple process of elimination. And we have eaten and drunk exactly the same thing since we got to Grimford, apart from one thing.
Water,
You
coffee,
don't
sugar.
take sugar in your coffee. I see. So I took it from Henry's kitchen, his sugar. It's perfectly all right. But maybe it's not a drug. No, it has to be a drug. How did it get into our systems? How?
How?
Get out.
What?
Get out. I need to go to my mind palace. He's not going to be doing much talking for a while. We may as well go.
His what?
Don't disturb him. Mind pause. It has to do with hound.
Memory technique is sort of mental map.
Liberty in.
Not a map or location. Doesn't have to be a real.
This is gonna be cool. This is so cool. Oh my god. How crazy would he look live? He's analyzing every possibility.
You already got the...
Oh. He found it. Liberty, Indiana, Hound. He found something. He's so cool. Ugh! Oh shit, careful, buddy. He's got a gun. You could kill someone. We were not too far-fetched with our coffee theory. Jesus. Put it down. At least you're okay. They need to hurry up and find where that drug came from and stop it because, ooh.
Project Hound. A new delirium drug which rendered its users incredibly suggestible. They wanted to use it as an anti-personnel weapon. It's totally disorientate the enemy using fear and stimulus, but they shut it down and hid it away in 1986.
Because of what it did to the subjects they tested it.
And what they did to others. Prolonged exposure drove them insane.
And they killed people.
Was uncontrollably aggressive.
So someone's been doing it again? Carrying on the experiment?
Attempting to refine it, perhaps, for the last 20 years.
Who?
Someone who was old enough to be there at the time of the experiments in 1986. Maybe somebody who says cell phone because of time spent in America. You remember, John?
Here's my cell number.
I knew he was coming. I knew he was fishy.
And he's never lost the certainty, the obsession that that drug really could work. Nice of him to give us his number. Let's arrange a little meeting.
Like you said, whenever someone is always there at the wrong time, there's something suspicious.
Always
now-
lurking in the background.
Lestrade, get to the hollow. Dua's hollow, now. And bring a gun. I'm so sorry, Dad.
Oh my god.
Oh, Henry, no! No!
Put the gun down, it's okay.
No, I know what I am!
Yes, I'm sure you do, Henry. It's all been explained to you, hasn't it? Explained very carefully.
What?
Someone needed to keep you quiet. Needed to keep you as a child to reassert the dream that you both clung on to because you had started to remember. Remember now, Henry, you've got to remember what happened here when you were a little boy.
Oh yeah, the red eyes.
Couldn't cope. You were just a child. So you rationalized it into something very different.
It's okay, mate.
He's so... Holy shit! Shit.
No!
Sherlock! You serious? Right, he is not drunk, Sherlock. So what's that?
What is it? All right, it's still here. But it's just a dog, Henry. It's nothing more than an ordinary dog. Oh, my God.
Holy shit! What the fuck is that?
No.
They're... No. They're drugged again, but... Pretty sure Moriarty's not there.
No, I'm sure he's not there.
What? It's the fog, the drug. It's in the fog.
Aerosol dispersant, that's what it said in those records. Project Hound, it's the fog,
The chemical minefield. For God's sake, kill it! Kill it!
So that was just an ordinary dog?
A huge ordinary dog, I guess.
Yeah, it was just an ordinary dog. I thought there was an awful lot of fog.
Why did you just kill me?
Because dead men get listened to, he needed to do more than kill you. He had to discredit every word you ever said about your father. And he had the means right at his feet. A chemical minefield, pressure pads in the ground, dosing you up every time that you came back here. Oh, this case, Henry. Thank you. It's been brilliant, Sherlock. What?
Oh my god.
Timing.
Yeah, please.
No good?
No good.
It's okay.
It's fine.
Careful, he's running away. Almost the same shot as the beginning.
Oh, he's gonna explode.
Yeah.
Well.
Bye.
Well, I guess the danger signs were right. We were half right, so I'm still pretty happy about what we did in this episode.
Right.
We got the drug.
Yeah, but not how it was.
We got the drug
ago.
before Sherlock got the drug.
Oh, we're on fire, guys.
We're getting better, just like Watson.
Put down then.
You locked me in that bloody lab.
I had to. It was an experiment.
An experiment? I was terrified, Sherlock. I was scared to death. I thought the drug was in the sugars up at the sugar.
Sugar coffee. Then I arranged everything with Major Barrymore. It's all totally scientific laboratory conditions, not literally.
Oh my god.
All right, keep talking. I'll find you.
Oh my goodness, just watching him and just...
know.
Keep talking. I can't let her hear me. Tell me what you're seeing.
Oh my god.
I can hear it.
What?
All right, let him go.
Sherlock.
What the...
What happened to him? Why was he there? He's so obsessed. He's coming back, so something's gonna happen.
Oh my god. I freaking love this episode,
I
guys.
love this so much.
Just to see Sherlock Holmes so stressed out, freaking out his mind, and Watson. Oh my god.
It's an interesting take on, I mean, it makes sense. Like, for a guy like him to always be in control, and we talked about this before, he usually loses his cool when someone close to him is in danger. Like, we saw him the first time we met Moriarty, and he threatened Watson.
True.
He was like, as soon as Moriarty left, he was like, like, he was holding it in, but he was scared. Deep down, he was scared. But I think his freak out was more about the drug kind of making him, you know, see things and just, he couldn't trust his senses, which is something, and he could trust his senses and his mind in that situation with Moriarty, but he was scared. So we saw him show emotion, but in this case, I think he was freaking out because everything was a lie to him. He knew it could not be true, like that did not exist, like that was too crazy to be real, but still he saw it, so he knew he couldn't trust his eyes, he couldn't trust his ears, so what was going on with him? If he loses himself, if he doesn't trust himself, that destroys his character. Because he is a guy that needs to understand stuff. That's his character, that's who he is, so... That was so funny and so it's so intense to see him like that.
I really love that the more we see of him with Watson, and the more humans he seems to be. When he was freaking out and shaking because his own body was betraying himself, because he wanted to be in control but he couldn't be in control because
of the drug.
Of everything that happened. And at the end of it, I saw that he was a little bit more empathetic.
Well, he said something really bad to Watson, and he tried to...
No, not Watson. What was Henry?
Yeah.
His name? He was a little bit empathetic with Henry at the end. He was like really calm, trying to smooth it out.
Because he's been through that as well.
Yeah.
So...
Like, he was nice. That's the thing that I was looking for. He was nice with Henry.
And at the end, him going to the guy to talk to him about the dog.
I shot your dog.
And asking Watson too, like, oh, that's emotions, like, explain to me, like, what's going on here? Oh, okay. Or timing, Sherlock, timing, like, wrong time? Yeah, okay. Like, he's making efforts, he's making baby steps. He's opening up, and I think the most obvious sign of that was when, like I said, he said something bad to Watson, and he knew that he was hurt.
He felt bad.
He felt so bad. For him to try to win him back, and the coffee was not about that, but before that, him just trying to...
I don't have friends. I have one friend.
He admitted it, which is showing vulnerability, but more than that, also you're just pushing the conversation, trying to make that bond, because I feel like, when I was saying, you know, he's got two addictions. He's got cigarettes and he's got cases, but he might also be starving for human bonds, you know, human connections. He is alone all the time. This is not the way he acts, the way he speaks, and just, you know, with Mrs. Hudson at the beginning, just he was so deprived of anything, and he was so vulnerable that he had to show up. Like, he had to read into things, and most of the time, people are fed up. They are fed up with that because they don't want their truths to be thrown at their face like that, and they want to keep secrets, but with this guy it's impossible. So Watson is the only one that's staying around, you know, he's the only one that's there, and he felt like he might be losing him. So it's nice to see him afraid of losing that bond and actually work towards repairing it. So I'm happy that he's showing vulnerability. The more we go, the more we see facets of his character that I'm like, oh, Watson is changing him. Sherlock is changing Watson also, because Watson is more quick to understand stuff during cases. True. And he's always been good at throwing light, like when he's doing cases with Sherlock, he's good at pointing out the obvious sometimes. But I feel like he's getting better at this. And Sherlock is kind of rubbing off on him a little bit, just like Watson is rubbing off a lot on Sherlock. So this is...
Oh, please. This is good. I don't know about you, but every single time that I see the editing about the Mind Palace, every step-by-step of his own conclusion about what's going on, just...
Back from, season 1, episode 1, that was impressive, but they are just playing with it a lot, and it gets more intense every season, every episode. Yeah. It's so well done. The editing and
we can take it.
We can take
it? Like, we kind of be news about...
So what basically you're saying is we're used to how he thinks during cases, so we can take more of that. Yeah. That was the first time we ever got to see him in his mind palace.
No,
him saying, I need to be in my mind palace, just leave, and him just moving stuff around, and like I think that was the first time it got that intense. So it's interesting because he must have looked so crazy from the outside world. But I love this guy. I love the intelligence behind this show. And I love that, and I've said it before, but I really love that they are not shying away from us finding out the truth behind the case. I love how they are giving us the opportunity to solve the cases ourselves. And yet they still manage to surprise us every single episode. And you add to that the amazing acting, the amazing editing, the shots.
Shout out to Benedict Cumberbatch.
Every time. Oh god.
That must be a challenge for you to learn all of those
lines. And especially in this episode, I noticed that they sometimes, you know, they're gonna cut to other stuff, but in this episode, like, there was this long shot of him just talking, and everything else was edited right beside his face, but him, that was one take, and let's go, just say your shot, just say your lines, man. And he nailed it. He nails it every time. So yeah, I'm in love with this show. I mean, it doesn't take much for me to be in love with the show, but this one is challenging, beautiful, great,
nice editing, nice landscape.
Nice landscape.
Landscape.
Nice coat. I really need to find myself a hat like Sherlock, just for the fun of it. You should have one too. We should have our hats. We'll try to find one before we end this show.
If we can.
Anyway, we're gonna move on because thank you guys so much for watching this episode with us. If you want to see the next one right away, it's gonna be on Patreon very soon, so check it out. The link is in the description.
Yep, so don't forget to subscribe if you want to watch it now, and if not, wait for the next week to watch the next one, guys.
Yes. Bye.